Hello and welcome to this Carveco tutorial. This is Roger Webb here. So today we are going to do a 4th axis or rotary A-axis machining. And we're going to start from the very beginning and we're going to build up a 3D relief using a process called a 2-rail sweep. And then we are going to wrap it. So we're going to start with a new model, and I've already preset this. Now this could be a column, it could be, you know, a bed head piece, you know, part of a bed head. It really doesn't matter at this stage. Resolution, I would advise having it all the way maximum. I work in millimeters. Incidentally, these figures, 315 millimeters is the circumference around a piece of material that would be 4 inches in diameter, or 100 millimeters. So we're gonna, now we need to change the orientation of the start of the program, which this indicates. Now normally if it was a flat piece of work on a CNC router, you'd start in this bottom left hand corner, which is actually nearest the home position. CNC milling machines would start back here, but this is for flat work. Now I am going to have the 4th axis with the motor part of it up towards the front of the machine, which would be up at this end. So this is going to be lying down along the y-axis. So I want the tool to come in and start at this end. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to set the orientation of the program here. You can see this process on my machine, the way I have it set up on video 247, I believe. So this is going to be a very similar setup to that. So we're going to press OK. So this is our piece of work. So it's a fairly quick process actually. There's no great mystery into this. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the polyline, make sure that this is unchecked because we want nice straight square lines, and you notice that the cursor will change to a target when it locates the edge of the edge corner or the corner of the material here. So click, and again when I get to that end, click. So that's one line, and again at the bottom here and 2 lines. Okay, so we have our 2 rails. Okay, so you would require one at the top and one at the bottom. So now we're going to select this again, and we want smooth polylines. So I'm going to start at just off the edge of this. It can be off the material. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with a rounded piece at the top here. It's I can actually go in and re-edit this, and we will. Actually, we'll edit this. I'll make that a bit. That'll do nicely. And then a small bead there, and possibly another small bead. This one in a bit deeper, this one, I think. Just any sort of shape that looks pleasing. We can zoom in and get a bit of detail on this if you like. Just quickly so quite a, let me zoom back out so I can get some perspective. You can sort of see what I'm going for here. And we're going to finish it there. Okay. We're actually drawing in the 3D view here. You can actually do this in the 2D view as well. Okay. So now we're going to use a magic tool. And this is a 2-rail sweep tool. Now a dialog box comes up and you just fill the dialog box out. It's very simple. So select the first drive rail. Well, this is going to be the first drive rail here. So you just highlight it and you tell Carveco, well, this is the first one. So you get a green tick. There's going to be the second one. Okay. Now the cross section. Highlight this. Add cross section. And immediately you have a 3D relief. But this of course is in a flat section. So what we need to do is just press. Actually, you can you can do a minus, but I would advise doing a plus. So we want to add this onto the material. So and we're going to press apply. Okay, so we can remove that now and let's have a look. So that's how quickly you can make a 3D relief. Now this at this stage could be a border piece. I mean you could make this 6 feet long, and it could be a pelmet or something like that. But what we are going to do, we're going to machine this. Now what I like to do is I machine this first, or construct the toolpaths first, because wrapping this really is just for cosmetics for you. The CNC machine doesn't need the information for a rotary axis, because the method I use is I slave the x-axis. In other words, I disconnect the x-axis, or rather position it midway over the work, over the center of the work, position the tool and disconnect it, then connect the fourth axis in, and then the fourth axis will take instructions from the x-axis, and it gives you a rotary axis, which is the simplest way to actually do a rotary job. So what we're going to do is we go to the toolpaths window. There's a 3D machining operation, and we'll start with the roughing, and we're going to use, as this is a fairly big piece of material, well, I'll make a tool, let me see, aluminium, or let's go to wood and plastic, roughing, M-mill, hang on, finishing, ball mill. Yeah, I'm going to use a ball mill actually, and I'm going to duplicate this one. So we're going to create a new tool here very quickly. Oh, no, don't want to delete, I want to copy. Choose the top one, and then we're going to edit this. And in my case, I'm going to use a 19mm, which is 3/4 of an inch. Ball mill. Tool number doesn't matter to me, I don't have a tool changer. This needs to be altered to 19mm. Step down was a bit steep. I like to do things fairly gentle, so I'm going to say 6mm there. You know, you can alter this in the dialog box in here. We're just creating a new tool at the moment. 15,000 RPM is pretty fair. I'm going to leave the feed and plunge rate as it is, so we're going to OK that, and we're going to select that. So we want the whole relief done, so we can go in here and now pick you know, exactly what we want. Step over, that's okay actually. Probably go 3mm. We go 3mm. Step down 6mm. I'll go 5. For the rotary axis, this is, I'll probably step this up to 50mm per second. That's 2 inches. Plunge rate, I can take that to 20. Spindle, that's pretty fair. I'll go with that. Standard raster, both directions. Not really worried about that because we've actually filled that in up here, and this is only a roughing cut. Lead-in moves, I do like to have lead-in moves just to, you know, reduce the load on the fourth axis as well. We're actually going to give this a safe height. I don't know why it's gone that high. I'm going to say 20mm. I'm also going to say for the home 20mm. Okay. Now, because this is a rotary axis, and I know the diameter is 100mm, this needs to be 50mm, which is halfway. So that means I'm going to have 11, at some point I'm going to have 11mm thickness of wood. That's either probably at the top or the bottom. This is okay. That just means there's going to be a bit of a boss there. So we're going to OK that. And 19 millimeters. Okay, calculate now. Okay, that's the roughing. Now we can do the finishing operation. I'm going to use a 3mm ball mill. Well, actually I could probably use a 6mm. For this job, it's a fairly big piece of work. So that's what we're going to do, select that, but we're going to have quite a small step over of 0.25. Actually, probably go to 0.3 of a millimeter. That will be fine. Step down. I'm going to make the step down a little bit more than that. I'm going to go 3 millimeters, just to make sure that we do it all in one pass. Feed rate. Again, 50 millimeters per second. Plunge rate. I need that to be 25. I normally do, for a finishing, I normally do 50% of what the feed rate is. Now this needs to be singing about 20,000 RPM. Raster Classic. You'll notice actually sometimes if you put raster in there and you let Carveco write the G code, is an awful lot of code. You can actually reduce the amount of code and a little bit of time by using Raster Classic. Okay. And we're going to calculate that. Okay, so we have our two strategies there, machining strategies. So now we need to simulate, I think. So we're going to simulate them all. We want it done fast. And simulate. Okay. So there it is machined. So it's still flat at the moment. So what we're going to do now is wrap this. So to do that, you go into Relief. Create Rotary Relief. Just click that. Now, as I was explaining before, my machine, well, my fourth axis will be, I have the motor up the very front with the gearbox, and then it lies down the y-axis, so we need it wrapped around the y-axis. So this is set right for us, and we're going to slave the X, and we're going to say OK, and there it is. So there you have a rotary axis in Carveco. You know, you have the two displays there, but it really doesn't matter. So there's your column, and I hope you've liked that demonstration of how to make a 3D relief and then wrap it into a column. And don't forget, you know, the machine is dumb. It doesn't it doesn't distinguish between a flat relief and, you know, a rotary relief. That's just quickly how to construct a 3D column or a rotary column in Carveco. So thank you for joining me. Please press subscribe and like if you've liked it, and don't forget, at the end of this video and below this video, above the comments section, there is a Carveco discount code for you. So thank you for joining me, and it's bye for now.